Hello, I'm Laura from Pioneer Yarn Company, located in Minden, Nevada. And I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to do the granite stitch, which is done in this section of our Pick-a-Pop cowl. It's a cool way to add some neat texture to the stitches, and it's not hard to do. In my swatch, I am ready to work row 4 of section 3. So I'm on the wrong side, and this is the first of 2 rows that actually do the granite stitch. So I'm going to start by slipping my first stitch with the yarn forward, just like you have, doing my garter border by knitting 2 stitches, slipping my marker. And now, on the wrong side, yes, you are going to knit on the wrong side. We are going to knit 2 stitches together all the way to the next marker. So you are rapidly decreasing the number of stitches in this round. But don't worry, because we're going to add them back in our very next row. On this part of the pattern, you are still knitting back and forth in flat knitting. You don't join in the round until after section 5. So we're knitting all of these stitches together. If you've done your increases previously correctly, then you should have an even number of stitches. To the marker, I'm going to slip the marker. We're going to purl the center stitch. Bring your yarn back around to the front, slip your marker, and knit 2 together all the way to the last marker. When you get to the last marker, you slip the marker and you knit the last 3 stitches. And we turn our work. Now we are on row 5. You can see the beautiful textured pattern that shows up. So row 5 is a right side row. Once again, we slip our first stitch, do our garter edge, knit 2. Since it's a right side row, it's also an increase row, so we do our yarn over, and now all the way across to the next marker, we are going to knit into the front and back of each stitch. So we're going to knit into the front of it. Oops, that's right. And then don't take that stitch off. Pivot your right needle to the back and knit into the back leg of it. So you've now made 2 stitches out of 1. Knit into the front, don't take it off, pivot, and knit into the back. Knit into the front, pivot, knit it to the back, then take both stitches off. Knit into the front, knit into the back. So we continue to do that all the way to our center stitch. Alright, when you've gotten to the marker, finish your knit front and back, and then remember this is an increase row, so we are going to make one right. So we come into that bar from back to front and knit into the front of it. Slip your marker, knit your center stitch, slip your marker, make one left. Go into that bar from front to back and knit into the back of it. And now knit into the front and back of each stitch until you get to the last marker. Now we yarn over, slip the marker, and knit our last 3 stitches. Now we're back. All those stitches we took away in row 4 are now back in row 5. And that is how you do the granite stitch. So this is a quick tutorial on how to do the faux cable, which in our cowl we did in the pop color. If you look at it carefully, you can see we've got this column of twisted stitches and then purl stitches and then what looks like a cable and then purl stitch, twisted stitch, purl stitch, column of cables. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This is section 8 of the Pick-a-Pop cowl. And on my sample here, I have already done 1 repeat so that you can see I'm already oriented here. And I am currently going to start row 6, which starts with a knit through the back loop, which twists your stitch, so that's part of that. Then I'm going to purl, and now I'm going to do the faux cable stitch. I'm going to slip this next stitch knitwise. I am going to knit the next 2 individually. Do not knit them together. This is not a double decrease. It is a single decrease. Very important. And now I'm going to go and get the stitch that I slipped and pass it over those 2 knit stitches. And that is what gives you the appearance of the faux cable. So then we purl 1, knit 1 through the back loop, purl 1, and we do our repeat again. So slip a stitch as if to knit, knit the next 2 stitches individually, take that slip stitch and pass it over those 2 stitches, and then purl, knit through the back loop, purl, once more, slip a stitch knitwise, knit the next 2 stitches individually, and then pass the slip stitch over those 2. Purl. On the chart, you're going to do the repeat that's in red 14 times to get to the center. And then on the other side of the center stitches, repeat it another 14 times to get to the beginning of round. So once we've finished the faux cable row, you will notice that you did decreases. So if we do decreases, we have to do increases so that we have the right number of stitches. So this time we're going to be adding a yarn over in the middle of where we did that decrease. So I'm at the beginning of round 7. Starts with a knit through the back loop, and then our repeat starts. So we purl 1, we knit 1, do a yarn over, and knit another 1. So now we're back to those 3 stitches again. Purl 1, knit 1 through the back, through the back loop, purl 1, knit 1, do a yarn over, knit 1, purl, knit through the back loop, purl, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. And that is the only thing about this that you have to pay attention to. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. You will continue to do your increases around the center stitch, your make 1 left and your make 1 right, and as the number of stitches increases, you will add 1 more faux cable closer to the center stitch as you work through the chart. But that is all there is to it. Good luck!